Imagine stepping into your kitchen tonight. You open a refrigerator packed with crisp vegetables, clean meats, and chilled water. It is a world of absolute comfort. But if you were to rewind the clock 50,000 years, that comfort evaporates into a nightmare. Survival meant consuming things that would make your stomach turn today. We often romanticize our ancestors, imagining proud hunters tracking majestic beasts. But the reality of the ancient humans' diet is far more stomach-churning. In fact, their entire existence was a desperate battle against starvation, where the line between what was food and what was waste was dangerously thin. When studying prehistory, we often marvel at how early societies managed basic survival. We look at ancient hygiene and the history of toilets to understand how they managed waste, but we rarely think about the terrifyingly foul things they were putting into their bodies just to create that waste. Let us shatter a massive myth. For a vast portion of our history, we were not the apex predators at the top of the food chain. We were weak, slow, and terrified. Early humans' scavenger tactics were the only thing keeping us alive. Before we mastered spears and bows, caveman food consisted of the rotting leftovers left behind by actual predators like saber-toothed cats. Imagine walking up to a 3-day-old zebra carcass that has been baking under the scorching sun. The meat is rancid, crawling with maggots, but our ancestors were starving. They could not chew the tough, spoiled flesh, so they focused on the one thing other animals could not reach: the bones. Using heavy stones, they would smash open the skeletal remains to suck out the raw, fatty bone marrow, eating it warm. It was a dense source of calories, but it came with a massive psychological toll. Imagine the sheer desperation required to willingly consume the fluid inside a dead animal's leg. Beyond that, a huge portion of their daily nutrients came from crunching on live beetles, tearing apart termite mounds, and digging up grubs from the dirt. Honestly, it makes you wonder if our modern pickiness is just a luxury we bought with centuries of progress. What do you think? Let me know in the comments if you could survive a single day on a prehistoric menu. Eventually, everything changed. The history of cooking began around 2 million years ago with the fire evolution. Cooking did something miraculous. It acted as an external stomach, breaking down tough fibers and neutralizing deadly bacteria before the food even touched our lips. This spark ignited a massive brain evolution. Because cooked food required far less energy to digest, our massive fuel-hungry primate guts actually shrank, allowing our brains to rapidly expand. It is one of the most fascinating chapters in evolutionary psychology. We literally ate our way into becoming intelligent beings. But even with fire, food was scarce. To survive the brutal winters, our ancestors had to embrace controlled rot. This was the disgusting origin of fermented food history. If a hunter-gatherer stumbled upon a cache of buried fruits or buried fish that had decayed into a bubbling, alcoholic, sour mush, they did not throw it away. They feasted on it. The bacteria actually preserved the food and kept it from killing them. This constant oscillation between starvation and windfall shaped our biology entirely, explaining why we crave sugar today. In the wild, sweetness meant safe, dense energy. Our ancestors gorged on it whenever they found wild honey or ripe berries because their survival instincts knew that winter was always coming. Today, that same instinct drives us to overeat in a world of artificial abundance. But as we dig deeper into the disturbing history facts hidden in the dirt, we find a truth that is far more unsettling than eating insects or rotten fish. Sometimes the ancient humans' diet turned inward. Archaeologists exploring sites across Europe and Africa have uncovered human bones mixed right in with the remains of wild animals. These bones bear the exact same butchery marks, showing signs of being scraped, cracked open for marrow, and boiled. This is the dark reality of human cannibalism history. For a long time, scientists assumed this only happened during catastrophic famines, but recent discoveries suggest something much more chilling. In places like Gough's Cave in England, researchers found human skulls that had been meticulously crafted into drinking cups. This proves that consuming our own kind was not always a desperate last resort. It was a cultural choice, a ritualistic practice, or perhaps a terrifying strategy to assert dominance over rival tribes. If you are enjoying this deep dive into our dark past, consider subscribing to help us uncover more history. It turns out that the most dangerous thing on the prehistoric menu was often each other. Consider a mind-bending thought experiment. If you were to pluck a modern human from their comfortable life and drop them into the Pleistocene epoch, they would likely starve within days, paralyzed by the filth and disgust of what it took to stay alive. Conversely, if you brought an ancient hunter-gatherer into a modern American supermarket, they would likely view it not as a shop, but as a temple of the gods. To them, rows of endless, clean, sweet food would look like an impossible miracle. Our ancestors chewed on raw bone marrow, choked down toxic plants, and ate their rivals just so the human flame would not burn out. The next time you look at a simple plate of food, remember your survival instincts were forged in a world of horror, and every clean bite you take is a luxury 3 million years in the making.